Hello everyone, my name is Nick Infernus, and welcome to another Transformers Legacy Reveals video. Now, I know that this isn't either of the videos that I talked about in my Legacy Wave 9 video, as Adobe gives me a notification. Thank you for that. I know this isn't the Jaeger duology review or the list video on Studio Series Rise of the Beast. The Rise of the Beast one, I'm actually delaying until Rise of the Beast's 1-year anniversary, since I realized that we're getting really close to that. And the Age of Extinction and Last Night double review, I'm just figuring out what I want to say about each movie. I have the notes, I just want to figure out how to word it. But as for this, I wasn't going to do this until we got proper reveals for the core class and leader class of this wave. And then the fan stream happened today, and it turns out that both of those figures got pushed until the wave after, which they revealed in the pipeline segment, which seems like a long time since they did those. So, yep, in this video, if you notice, it says Wave 3 plus more in the title. I'll be covering the figures that we know will actually be in Wave 10, and then we'll do the pipeline reveals for Wave 11. So, starting off with the deluxe class, we have the inevitable repaint of Legacy Shadow Striker into Sideburn, which, I'm not going to lie, this works a lot better, probably because this is actually, the colors that the mold was meant for. Obviously, the alt mode's not accurate because it's repaint a Shadow Striker. I read on TF Wiki that they apparently don't have the license to a Dodge Viper anymore, which does suck because, Dodge Viper is a pretty cool car, and that's kind of Sideburn's whole thing. But, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to like this figure when I eventually get it. I can definitely see myself liking it a lot more than Shadow Striker, if only because it looks a lot more like the character that it's trying to be. Whereas Shadow Striker, was neat if you took it as a mashup of original toy and show model, whereas this is pretty much just a stylization of the show model, but the show model nonetheless. And Shadow Striker was a figure that did everything pretty good across the board, so I will, yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'll like it when I get it in hand, but don't expect it to rank too high, especially considering that this wave only has 5 figures in it. So then we have a retool of Magnius into Nucleus, and I don't think they ever specify what kind of rock material these guys are. The way I'm going to have it there, Magnius is just rock, Boulder Crash is some kind of like magma rock of sorts, Shard is a bunch of crystal. This to me comes off as quartz. Like this is like very much, this just has like a quartz look to it. It's almost angelic sort of. And I'm not sure, actually I am sure, I definitely like this a lot more than Magnius. I got a comment on the Wave 8 video saying that Magnius should have gone higher, and the person who commented it did not say why, but, you're entitled to your own opinions. Just like how my opinion is that I do like the look of this more than Magnius, though, not by much. I think they're pretty much equal, but, again, we shall see. I think it looks pretty cool. I do like the alt mode, how it has like these 2 giant boosters in the back. And it looks like they were able to do a good amount of retooling for this guy, like the shins, the head, the boosters, even like the hood of the car. The hood of the car, as I point to whatever this part of the car is called. But yeah, I do think it looks nice. Although I don't find that I'm as excited for this as I thought I would be, considering that I am a big fan of Magnius. But again, we shall see. We also have Cybertron Hotshot. I'm not too familiar with the Cybertron cartoon, but at least from what I've seen, this looks pretty spot on. And despite me not being too familiar with the character, I gotta say, I am in love with this. And also, he's got a planet key. Hasbro really convincing me to buy that cannonball from the Star Raiders collection. I'll try to resist the urge, but don't bank on it. But yeah, despite my lack of knowledge of the Cybertron cartoon, I'll happily pick this up. I'm sure it'll be a little bit better than the Armada one, at least. Maybe not even a little bit better, just it could be a lot better. Though I am noticing he does have a little bit of hot rod shoulders, though he does have some normal shoulders within those hot rod shoulders. If you guys don't know, hot rod shoulders are when the joint is mounted in sort of like the collar area and not the shoulder itself. So the shoulders kind of go over the head. If I had revealed my face at this point, I probably could have shown you guys that, but I haven't yet, so don't worry about it. Otherwise, it looks decently posable and pretty accurate to the show model. And then they're repacking Strongarm because why not repack Legacy's worst retool? You can fight me on that, but that's what I'm going with right now. And then the only other figure in this wave besides those four is a Voyager, Vector Prime, a retool of the figure that topped the list for Legacy Year 1 and is still at the top of that list to this day. Honestly, I can definitely see why they would retool this out of G-Axis because his ship definitely had that kind of skeleton to it, but they went to town on this retool. They didn't really change too many parts on the arms or the legs, but they did a lot with the upper torso. I'm noticing they gave him the shoulder pads, the new chest details. They gave him like that cape that he had in the show. Of course, he has a new head because it's Vector Prime. He has a sword and another planet key. I have noticed some people complain about the little hinge clips on the side of the leg. I can definitely see how that would be bothersome to some people, but here's how I'm rationalizing it. If they were to tool that away, they'd probably have to make, it's not probably, they absolutely would have to make an entirely new part, and at that point, you might as well just retool a whole shin to have different sculpting, which they probably didn't have the budget for, given all the stuff they're doing in the upper torso, so I can excuse it, but I can also see why some people might not be a big fan of it. And that alt mode's pretty nice as well. I remember when the rumors initially got out that he was a G-Axis retool, the guy said that the alt mode's nose cone is too short. It doesn't really look short to me, more just, wide and thick, which again, I can kind of get. But I'm absolutely thrilled with the way this looks. Again, despite my lack of knowledge on Cybertron, though I do have a pretty soft spot for Vector Prime. So I will happily pick this up. In fact, I have both this guy and Hot Shot on pre-order currently, so definitely looking forward to getting both of them in hand. Now let's look at the pipeline. If slides will cooperate with me and my mouse wheel. So starting out, we have the core class for the wave, starting with Energon Galvatron, which if you guys recall from the Wave 8 video, I ranked Megatron pretty highly, so I'm pretty sure this will go either in the spot below him or the spot above him because they're practically the same figure, just with different decos. Though I am liking the colors on this one a little bit more, like the accented reds, the yellow, the purple. It just looks a little bit more appealing to me than Megatron's ship mode, though I do still like Megatron a lot. And then there's the last Armorizer, which this one looks to be some kind of Dark Energon sort of thing. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I am a little bit bummed that it's just a straight repaint of Boulder Crash, but that figure was fine enough as is. For deluxes, we've got Quake, which apparently is a Skullgrin retool. They didn't say so on stream, but I'm in a server with someone who knows a guy, so apparently this is a Skullgrin retool with the exact same target masters that Needle Nose came with. And you'd think that it being a Skullgrin retool would mean that I'm really not looking forward to this, but Skullgrin actually grew on me over time. Like, yeah, the alt mode is still complete trash, but he still looks really cool in robot mode. He poses very well. He has a decent transformation. It's just the alt mode dragging it down, which it looks like they actually sculpted some tires on the legs. So maybe this will look like an actual tank instead of just a block with treads on it. That's not a tank. You cannot convince me that that is a tank. We also have Slipstream, which is a partial retool of Windblade. Pretty obvious. It is nice that they gave her null raise instead of just packaging her with the katana again. Have a G1 Optimus Prime, which if I had to guess, will probably be just like a scaled down version of the Masterpiece Missing Link Optimus Prime that they put out last year. Or actually, I'm pretty sure it's this year. I don't know, I forget. Just without all the diecast, maybe with some simpler engineering. I'm still very interested in seeing how this turns out. Then I believe Voyagers are next. Yep. We have Metal Hawk, with apparently a toy accurate deco as opposed to the show accurate one of the Legacy Evolution release. I'm not going to be picking this up because I already have the Evolution version. But if it's a toy accurate deco, then I'm sure we can expect the yellow parts to be very metallic. And of course, Animated Motormaster, you love to see it. A repaint of the fantastic animated Optimus Prime that topped the Wave 8 video. Then for leaders, we have the Netflix Soundwave with 3 cassettes, a Voyager, which is $30, and then 3 little micro guys that are $5 each. That comes up to $45, so I'm not even sure what this guy is going to be doing to justify the leader price point. I'm happy enough with the Shattered Glass Soundwave that I was lucky enough to pick up at a local, comic shop. So I doubt I'll be picking this up unless it does, something else to pique my interest. And is it just me, or does this look more like the core class that they released in Kingdom and Legacy Year 1? Like, I don't know why, but this artwork just looks a lot more like the Kingdom figure, the Kingdom core class, than the Netflix Voyager. But of course, thankfully, we're not ending it, on that note, because we have Armada Galvatron to end on a high note. A repaint of another fantastic figure, Armada Megatron, which was the best leader to come out of Legacy Evolution outside of repacking, the Dragon Megatron, which is kind of cheating. But yeah, super excited for him, and definitely going to be pre-ordering him because Hasbro went back to the open box for leaders. And to end the video off, I want to say that Commander Class Magmatron will be shipping for Pulse pre-order soon, so I do have a video planned where I'll talk about both him and Origins Wheeljack, since they don't really belong to a specific wave. But after hearing some of the buzz around Magmatron from people who managed to get him in hand, I must say I am super excited to finally get him in hand. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this reveals video. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more fun content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, and Godspeed.